Every single year, Black Friday and Q4 in general is getting more competitive. And this year, we don't just have the competition, we also have a new way of running meta ads. Over 2025, Meta has been rolling out this new update to the machine learning system called Andromeda, and everybody in the marketing space is talking about it. And for good reason, because the way to actually win with meta ads today is so drastically different from what it has been in the past. And if you want to be able to be successful during this Q4, during Black Friday, Cyber Monday, you need to structure your ad account the right way, and you need the correct campaign settings in order to actually be successful. In this video, I'm going to go through why we actually need a new strategy this year and how we can actually take advantage of the new machine learning system from Meta called Andromeda. Then I'm going to show you step by step exactly how you should structure your promotional campaign. So when you launch your Black Friday, Cyber Monday offer, how do you actually structure that to get the best results? So first and foremost, why do you actually need a new strategy? Like, what has actually changed? So as you can see, this engineering article from Meta posted December 24th. This new update is not really a new update. It's something that's been rolling out throughout the year. But about now, I think it hit most accounts in the world. So this is when people are really feeling the effects of this update. So what has changed? Well, instead of going through this very complex and detailed article, as you can see here, I'm just going to explain it to you in the way that actually matters to you. And that is this new update to Meta's machine learning system allows their algorithm to be much better at matching the actual ad with users on Facebook and Instagram. Let's say we're selling a type of pillow that's good for your neck and posture. This pillow could be marketed towards males between 20 and 30, okay? Because they might have a bad posture from working a lot on their laptop, which turns into back issues, neck issues, these things. But this pillow is probably also relevant for, pregnant women that are struggling with their sleeping posture and have joint pain or whatever. Or it could be relevant for older people, 65 plus, that are struggling with back pain, neck pain, all these things. This pillow just fixes your posture, but it's still relevant for so many different types of people. Now, for this type of product, ideally, you would want to run with a campaign that has one ad set and multiple different ads that are tapping into all of these different personas. So one ad would maybe be a video showing a male between 20 and 30 who is sitting at the desk, and then, he's showing that he is having pain, joint pain. And this ad will be something that, a younger male would resonate with. But at the same time, within that same campaign, you can be running an ad that's targeted towards, women 65 plus that are struggling with back pain or neck pain. And this is exactly what creative diversity means. You're setting an ad set that has very broad targeting. So you're not specifying necessarily any specific age or any specific gender. You're going very broad. But within that ad set, you have multiple different ads that are tapping into different segments within that broad audience. And the algorithm now is so good at being able to match these ads with potential users that will resonate with them, that this setup is the new way to win with meta ads. I've already made a video on how you can use Meta's new Andromeda for your evergreen campaigns. That is the campaigns that don't have a time limit on them. But in this video, I want to specifically focus on, Q4 promotional campaigns, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, the time-limited campaigns that you will turn on and turn off. So how do we actually structure them to take advantage of Andromeda? So I'm now inside an example ad account here. And just to show you exactly how you would set this up step by step. So number one, click create. Then we're going to run with a sales campaign, okay? So in this example, let's say you're an e-commerce business. Click next. Then we're using Advantage Plus sales campaign. We set the budget at the campaign level. And for this campaign, we want to use a lifetime budget. Now, reason for that is the example that I'm going to set up is going to be a campaign that's just going to last for a week. We don't want to have a daily budget because I want to allow Meta to utilize this budget within this time period to the best of its ability. So because this is such a short-lived campaign, I want to run with a lifetime budget, because let's say that Meta sees more potential for this campaign early on. If it does that, then that's where I want to spend the majority of the spend. I don't care about evening the spend out over a couple of days. I want to get the maximum effect of this campaign. So that's why I use a lifetime budget. So as an example, I just put 100K as the lifetime budget here just to show you. Next, we want to set the campaign bid strategy. So here I want to set highest volume. Reason for that is it's such a short-lived period that we just want to maximize the amount of sales and conversions that we're getting in during this period. I don't care too much about optimizing for value. I just want to get the max amount of customers into my business. And that's the reason why I have this promotion, because I just want to win market share. Now, if your strategy is different, if you actually want to make sure that you profit profit the most from this promotional campaign, then what you can do is select highest volume or highest value. So essentially you're optimizing not just for conversions, but you're also telling Meta, hey, I want the most valuable conversions. So if one conversion comes from a person who has a way higher order value, then you want to ensure that Meta optimizes for those and get you more of those valuable conversions. In other words, you're just optimizing for the highest possible ROAS by using that bid strategy. But for this example, I'm going to use highest volume. Then we're going to click next. And now we're on the ad set level. Then first you want to go to conversion location, put that to your website and make sure you maximize number of conversions. My data set is set up not for e-commerce. I optimize to get people to booking calls with me and buy our services and my consulting services for advertising. So the data set looks not as it will for you, but essentially what you want to do here is select the purchase event, which will be this one. Now here's another very important setting that I need to show you, and this is the one thing that so many business owners overlook and so many advertisers overlook, and that is the attribution model that you use. Now because this is a promotional campaign, it's very important that we make sure to tell Meta to only show the ads to the people that need to see the ads to come in and convert on our promotion. So without making this too complex, just imagine this. When we start this campaign, there's going to be multiple people seeing these ads, but some of these people will also receive probably your newsletter or see your Instagram story. These people will probably buy regardless if they see your ads or not, because they've also seen your Instagram story or your newsletter or something else, right? There might be other marketing efforts that you're also doing. But if we are also showing our ads to these people, then that will essentially be wasted ad spend because they don't need to see the ads. They will come in and purchase regardless. And this dilemma is what I call the incrementality problem. So what we need to do here to minimize this problem, because of course we can't not 100% eliminate it, because this overlap is very difficult for Meta to actually understand. Some people might actually need to see one of your ads while still seeing your newsletter to actually, remember to come in and actually make that purchase during your promotion. So it's not an easy fix, but what we can do is changing the attribution model to incremental. So as you can see here, as standard, it's set to optimize ad delivery for a selected time window and engagement type based on your attribution setting. Okay, sounds fancy, but essentially the standard one, as you can see here, is 7-day click, 1-day engage view, and 1-day view. That means anyone who has either clicked on the ad within a 7-day window and gone in and purchased, that sale will be credited to the campaign. And any sale that come in after somebody has viewed your ad or engaged with the ad without necessarily clicking it directly, that sale will be credited to the campaign if it happens within the same day as they engaged or viewed your ad. But the problem is a lot of people might, be on social media scrolling past your ad without really noticing it, but they will still get credit for the sale if that person goes in and purchases that same day. And that's what we want to avoid. So what we want to do here is switch this to incremental. Now, when we select incremental, Meta will do a better job of actually making sure that it shows the ad to the people that most likely actually need to see them to come in and convert. So essentially what will happen now is it will lean more towards the click attribution versus the view attribution. So it will optimize more for people that actually click the ad and purchase versus people that just view or engage with the ad and purchase. When people actually click it, it's more likely that they also needed to see the ad and click the ad to essentially become a customer. Now, if you are a business with a big customer base and you know that a lot of people will come in and purchase during this campaign period, what you can even do is use the standard one, but you can go into the attribution setting itself and you can switch it over to only 1-day click, and we can remove the engage view attribution and the view attribution. Now, this campaign will only get credit for sales for people that click and purchase the same day. And I would actually recommend to use this for a lot of businesses, because if you're just running a campaign for, let's say, 5 or 6 days, then you don't even have that full 7-day attribution window to pass back the data and give that credit to Meta in some instances. So what we actually want to do is just make sure that we optimize for people that see the ad, click it, and buy the same day, because those are the people that actually need to see the ad. Those are the instances where we know that the marketing effort was effective. It actually made somebody make the action that we wanted and they came in and purchased that same day. And if you use 1-day click attribution only, this is basically the strictest setting that you can use to minimize the overlap issue and remove the incrementality dilemma. However, some caveats to that. If you're selling a very expensive product, right, and people need to be in the consideration phase for a little bit before they actually go in and purchase, then I would probably use 7-day click and not 1-day click, because if you use 1-day click, it's not going to get credit for the sales that come from people that click the ad, but buy the next next day or the third day, right? But these are still probably incremental conversions. So if you expect to have a lot of sales coming in, a couple of days after people click it, because either it's an expensive product or the campaign period that you're running goes over 1 week, 2 weeks, whatever. And whenever you have a longer campaign period with less urgency, it's going to take longer before people actually take action. So if you expect to get more sales in on a 7-day click attribution and very few sales on 1-day click, then I would still do 7-day click, because we also want to optimize for more data. If we don't pushing back a lot of data to the campaign, then that's also going to be a negative thing. So it's really important that you find a balance between which two here. And it just depends on your business. If you have a question to which one you should use in your situation, make sure you leave a comment down below. And if you're subscribed, I'll go in and answer your comment straight away. Now for this example, I'll just keep it at 1-day click attribution only. But just make sure that you don't take this at face value. You really need to understand what attribution setting is best for your business. And that's not guesswork. That's actually looking at your historic data and understanding on average where you get most of your data coming in from, the average time it takes from somebody to see your ad to actually converting. Those things need to be considered before you actually go ahead and select the best attribution setting for you. Now, next, we're going to get into budget and schedule. So since we're running it for just 7 days, we just want to make sure that we have 7 days selected. Okay, let's say we actually start this one on November 1st, and then I run it for 7 days. Now, next, we're getting into the audience setup. And this is where a lot of people get confused these days, because it's hard to understand how to actually do your targeting when Meta has done all of these changes over the last 3 years, and now especially with the new Andromeda update. Now, here's the thing, because we have selected just 1-day click attribution, I am not going to exclude any existing customers that I know will get my email. I don't need to do that. I don't need to make any exclusions because I have such an incremental attribution setting selected for the campaign. So essentially what I would do is just keep it at broad targeting. I will of course select the country I'm selling in. So for example, let's say I have an e-commerce brand in Norway. But here's the thing, with Meta's new Andromeda, you don't need to select interests or lookalike audience or anything like that. You just need to make sure that you have set broad targeting. And then what we do on the ad level, that is where we actually do the targeting, because we create ads that tap into specific personas within our broad audience. And that is what's going to be doing the targeting for us. Now, we're also going to allow all placements. Reason for that is I trust the algorithm to put my ads in front of the people at the platform and at the placement and the time where it makes the most sense to actually get in a conversion. Now, for a very few selected businesses, we actually use manual placements. That's usually either a high ticket service or a local service business where there's a big delay between, somebody clicking on the ad, becoming a lead and actually converting. Because of that long delay and also that data being hard to pass back to Meta, we need to make sure that we're optimizing for high quality leads. And often the way we do that is by just selecting the high quality placements. But for most businesses, and this example, I'm still pretending I'm an e-commerce business, I would go with all placements because the algorithm is so powerful these days. And we have set the right attribution setting that is aligned with our business. So everything else we just leave open, we leave broad. Then we click next. Now we're on the ad level, and this is where you should actually spend most of your effort. This is what takes work, okay? Actually producing the creatives, understanding the psychology of the personas that you're trying to reach with these ads, and in which format to do so. So you probably already have a lot of historic data of what type of format, if it's video, image, carousel, and what type of concepts that will work for you. If it's a problem solution, testimonial, UGC style, simple static, or carousel, or before after format that works for you. You probably already know this, right? Because this is a promotional period and you probably have been running evergreen campaigns up to this point. So you already understand what the best formats to start off with is. Then just use the formats that you already know is working for you and apply the offer to them. Now, the thing we need to keep in mind here is that the promotional period will be very short, right? The example I'm making here is just 7 days. So if you're running something similar, it's very important that you consider the fact that you don't have a lot of time to do creative testing. So we need to do the work up front. We need to try to understand what type of ads will work the best based on historic data, based on what your competitors or anybody else in your industry that we know are doing well. And we need to front load as much work as possible to be able to have 6 to 10 ads ready to go to get you a home run from the day we launch them. Now, as soon as you launch them, some are probably not going to get a lot of spend while others will be prioritized. That's okay. What we're essentially doing here is we're just increasing the odds that 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or maybe all the way up to 6 of these ads become winners and bring in a lot of sales during this promotional period. Now again, since we're not doing the targeting on the ad set level, each and every ad should be focused on a specific persona. And maybe you have one specific ICP, ideal customer profile, that you know will convert the best for you, then of course double down on that. That's what you should focus on. Don't try too much new stuff during this promotional period, because this is not where we want to do the testing. The testing should have been done up front with our evergreen setup. And again, I've made a separate video on that. You can check the link in the description. So ensure that you do the preparation that is necessary to increase the odds of you launching this campaign and immediately having a couple that will get you good results from day one. Now, another thing to be aware of is, of course, the website that you use, the URL. If you're running a promotion, make sure you have a separate landing page for that specific promotion and send all the traffic directly to that. You don't want to send people to your homepage or a product page that doesn't have the information that they saw in the ad. There needs to be very clear alignment between what people see in the ad and what they see on the page they land on. So let's say, for example, that we have a couple of categories and products on sale. We want to have a separate landing page for all of those products and a banner on top that states the offer, the same offer as we state in the ad. And that is where we want to send the traffic. That will give you a much better conversion rate. Now, I know a lot of people will have questions about like how many ads should you start off with. It really depends on your budget level. If you have a very low budget, then you need to do more prep in terms of understanding what will likely work for you and just start with that. So that might be just 3 to 4 ads. But if you have a much higher budget, you might be able to go all the way up to 50 ads that you launch on day one. So it really just comes down to your budget level. For most businesses that aren't doing crazy high budgets, it will probably be something around 10 to 20 ads. And some of them should be statics, some of them should be videos, and some of them should probably be carousels. But again, that does depend on what's historically been working the best for your account. But here's the thing, even if you've been having the most success with your evergreen campaigns with videos, you might still want to run a couple of statics with your promotion. Reason for that is we want to make sure that the people that have been warmed up and have been on the fence for a while, that haven't converted yet, that when you launch your promotion, they will see that promotion everywhere they go. We want to make sure that we remind them about this offer that is there, to make sure that we don't miss out on these people that have been warmed up, but they just need to be reminded before they can come in and convert. And if we also have a couple of statics, then we will have more available placements where they can find our ads. So just to show an example of what I mean here. So I've just added in my URL. I haven't added in any creatives, but I just want to show you the advanced preview setting here, because if we apply some statics, we will be able to take advantage of more of these placements. As you can see here, some of them could appear in Messenger inbox, right? But if this was a video, that wouldn't really stand out. But because you can have a static, you can make sure that this static, even though it's very small on the placement, it might be recognized by your warm audience, and that would remind them to come in and convert. So for a promotion, even if your videos have been working best for evergreen top of funnel, when you run a promotion campaign, I would still highly advise you to run with some statics, just so that you can take advantage of more of these placements. And the beautiful thing about Meta's new Andromeda is that it's very effective at being able to understand the frequency and the placement and the timing of who and when people need to see your ads. So by giving Meta more tools to work with, not just video, but also some statics and maybe also some carousels, you can tap into that powerful new machine learning system. Now, there's one more thing that I haven't talked about yet that is extremely important to consider. If, let's say, you're running with a campaign period that goes over multiple weeks and maybe all the way up to a month, then I don't think you should be running with the lifetime budget. Reason for that is we want to be able to come in and adjust the budget depending on how the effectiveness of the campaign develops. So if we're running with a campaign that goes over 1 week, I would ideally run with a daily budget. And the way I would do the daily budget is that I would front load the ad spend. So in my mind, I would still have like a total budget that is around the target that I have for the promotional period. But the way I would structure the ad spend is that I would spend most of that budget up front. And I would actually have daily budget in the beginning of the campaign. And then I would adjust it accordingly as I see data coming in. The reason why we want to front load the ad spend and spend more in the beginning of the promotional period is because if we spend too little and the promotional period ends, then we might have lost out on a lot of opportunity. Let's say we could have spent 2-3 times more, but we just didn't understand that because we didn't get the data until the end of the promotional period. So if we start with a higher budget, then essentially what will happen is that it's more likely that you will probably spend a little bit too much in the beginning, but that's totally fine, because what we can do is we can reduce and adapt, and then we can still make sure that we spend the maximum that we can before we have diminishing returns from this campaign. So make sure you spend more in the beginning, and then as the promotional period goes on, then you can adjust the ad spend, But even if we're spending too much upfront, we still have the time to adjust. And that is the beautiful thing here. So at least here we're avoiding the potential of missing out on the opportunity that you have this year for your promotion. So thank you so much for watching this video. Hopefully you found it valuable. I wish you the best of luck during this Q4, and I hope you become very successful and get a lot out of meta ads this year. If you have any questions to anything that I talked about in the video, make sure you leave a comment down below. I answer each and every comment from my subscribers, so make sure you subscribe as well. And if you're looking to get some help to scale this Q4, we still have a couple of slots available to work with a few businesses. So you can click the link in the description and book a call with me, and we will see if we can potentially help you. So thank you so much for watching this, and I'll see you in the next video.